في الوجدان حي أنت للعينين ضي أنت عند الحوض ري أنت نور الله فجرا جئت بعد العسر يسرا ربنا أعلاك قدرا يا إمام الأنبياء أنت في الوجدان حي أنت للعينين ضي أنت عند الحوض ري
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله محمد Get the levels out now. Looks amazing. Let's go. Children are wearing new clothes, bright colors fill the streets. Their faces full of laughter, their pockets full of sweets. Let us rejoice indeed. This is the day of Eid. Let us rejoice indeed. For this is the Shum, dum, ba, dum, ba.
So have faith, have faith. Just like the bird who feels the sun and sings before the dawn is come. Have faith, have faith. Slowly, slow, my boy, I see you strong. And everybody wants to find a place where they belong. But don't you find yourself someday in a cold and dark and lonely place, and you wonder how you got there?
وفين صدقة اللهم اشفي شفاء لا يغادر سقما اللهم اشفي شفاء لا يغادر سقما اللهم اشفي شفاء لا يغادر سقما اللهم اشفي شفاء
العينين ضي
And with that beautiful music compilation, it sets the mood for today's edition of Your Weekend. My name is Chinenye Ozo. Welcome to this beautiful and interesting edition of Your Weekend. Today's edition promises to be an exciting one. We have a usual segment, the Weekend Entertainment, talking movies, Lifetonic, and we have some very interesting guests that will be gracing our set. Now, to kickstart the program, here is Lifetonic with Praise Izinho, and she's talking about mental health. Enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Lifetonic on Your Weekend. My name is Praise Izinho and I will be giving you a series of tips and information on how to be a better and healthier you. Today we will begin a mental and well-being series. This segment is an introduction. This is a topic commonly shunned and ignored in our country, yet 4% of Nigerians are believed to be suffering from depression. We are becoming more aware and slowly opening up to speak about mental health and well-being. However, there is still stigma attached and a lack of knowledge about the topic. According to the World Health Organization, mental health can be defined as a state of well-being where each one of us realizes our potential, can cope with the normal stress of life, work productively and fruitfully whilst making a contribution to our community. We often confuse mental health and mental illness to mean the same thing, but they are very different. We all have mental health. With the definition just given, it means we all have the potential to cope with normal stress of life, work productively and fruitfully, whilst making a contribution to our community. Not all of us will have mental illness, such as depression, anxiety, and the rest, but we will all struggle with balancing our mental well-being in our life. It's similar to you falling down. You get injured, even though you didn't mean to. You treat the injury, you heal, and you continue with life. This happens without mental health and well-being. It can get hit a couple times, but you recognize that. You treat it, you heal it, and you continue. Then you know how to avoid taking the same route that will make you fall, or you are prepared for what to do and to treat yourself if you do fall. So this well-being is our mental health. It is the emotions, the feelings we have. It is our thoughts, the way we can overcome stress, our worries, and solve our problems in our lives. It is the way we connect with others around us. That is our mental health. Mental illness is a type of illness that affects the way we think, the way we behave, the way we feel, and the way we interact and connect with other people. There are many types with different symptoms, ranging from personality disorders to obsessive behaviors to anxiety disorders to psychosis to depression to schizophrenia and many, many more. Both mental health and mental illness are not like a light switch where you can turn it off and on. It varies on a scale. For mental health, sometimes you have days where you are very stressed, some days you're very confident and happy, some days you just feel there or indifferent, and then a problem comes. So having bad mental health doesn't mean you are sad all the time, or what people classify here as mad. That having good mental health doesn't mean you're always happy and confident every time. It just means that you know how to deal with stress and problems of life when it comes. So having good mental health means you know how to deal with the challenges in life and you get yourself on the right balance. You can have good mental health and still have a mental illness. Many people with mental illnesses have incidents or episodes where sometimes you have good and sometimes you have bad health. Our mental health is influenced by so many factors in our lives, so we need to reflect and make sure we know how to keep healthy. When you want to lose weight, you start observing what you eat and how much physical exercise you do. Then you find the best plan that works for you and you change it so you can lose the weight. It's similar with our mental health. You need to take time to reflect on what's making you flourish. What do you do to get back on your feet when you have problems in life? Are you making sure you are keeping your mind healthy and not overloading it with stress every single time? We'll talk more about mental health during this series. Thank you very much for listening. I'll see you next time on Lifetonic.
There you have it. Mental well-being is very important. We need to cultivate a habit of distressing and unwinding so we don't get carried away with all the stress of the day. So, like Praise said, let's find a way to distress and not worry so much about life. And moving on your weekend, it's time for us to bring you the Week in Entertainment. And Charles Azanwa is standing by. Enjoy.
Nigerian superstar Wizkid's song Essence becomes the first Nigerian song to crack the Billboard Hot 100 chart. This comes after the song, which features another Nigerian singer, Tems, cracked the Billboard bubbling on the charts for the first time. The song rose to number 72. This marks a remarkable achievement for Wizkid and Tems, who are signed to the same label, and for African music as a whole. However, this isn't Wizkid's first time on the Hot 100 chart. He got into the chart via his features on Drake's One Dance, which hit number 1 in 2016, and Beyoncé's Brown Skin Girl, which peaked at number 76 in 2019. For Tems, this marks her first appearance as a launch Gather's hit.
Body, baby, so crazy. Loving your body, baby. Girl, you want me to me. I just wanna let you know. Hope every day I get
American music mogul Dr. Dre have been ordered by courts to pay ex-wife Nicole Young $300,000 monthly in spousal support from August 1, 2021. That is just over $3.5 million a year in support, not including other expenses. According to legal documents obtained, the veteran hip-hop star must make the monthly payments as long as Nicole remains a spinster. Nicole, 51, is guaranteed $300,000 per month as long as she doesn't remarry, according to the court order. Once she remarries, or if that should befall either of them, the payment will stop. Dre will also pay her health insurance, which will be similar to the coverage she had during the marriage. All other insurance for Nicole will be paid out of her pocket. Dre and Nicole were married for 24 years before the split. They have 2 adult children, a daughter named Truly and a son named Truth. Filming for Game of Thrones prequel House of the Dragon, which began in April in the United Kingdom, has been paused due to COVID-19. According to Deadline, a production member tested positive for the novel virus during one of the routine testing, which is in compliance with industry guidelines. The delay will last for 2 days while the infected crew goes into quarantine. The pause in production due to COVID-19 will not be the first, as recently Netflix ordered an indefinite pause on the production of the second season of Bridgerton following its second recorded positive case. Production for House of the Dragon kicked off in April following months of development. The prequel, created by George R.R. Martin, Rand Condal and Miguel Sapochnik, is set 300 years before the events of Game of Thrones and centers on the House Targaryen. Anthony Joshua to defend his titles against Alexander Usyk in September. British boxer of Nigerian descent Anthony Joshua will in September defend his heavyweight titles against Ukrainian fighter Alexander Usyk. Joshua has been mandated to face Usyk, and the fight will happen on Saturday, September 25 in London at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Joshua will defend his titles against Usyk following the collapse of his anticipated fight with fellow Brit Tyson Fury. Joshua said, "The stage is set and I'm ready to handle business. I put it all on the line again and it's time to defend my crown. We are 2 Olympic gold medalists who have fought our way to the top. I'm honored to be the first person to fight in such an awe-inspiring venue." Joshua won gold at the 2021 Olympics alongside Usyk.
I can't help that Ziwa loves me.
Love can be complicated.
To insist that Tiffany keeps the baby. You're having a baby, so act like it.
Love can make you do unimaginable things.
I feel safe with you, Dylan.
I'm here for you, Sheba. Honestly, I am.
You listen to those feelings, follow them, and let them lead you on. Everything is at stake when wealth is involved.
Nami doesn't treat me like that. It sucks how dad treats you.
Revenge, schemes, plots, betrayal.
Why not do that? You're cheap and you don't know Don doesn't want you anymore.
Is there a price tag for love? Find out. Love and Wealth, a telenovela like never before.
You just want to hurt him really bad.
Stop saying that!
It's the truth.
On NTA Entertainment, Sundays 4:30 p.m, Wednesdays 10:30 p.m, and Fridays 8:30 p.m.
Hello and welcome. It's time for another interesting package of
Everything Music.
Angelina, you dey cool in my temperature. If you call, I go come deliver.
This is Talking Movies.
In times of old, the world was full of wonder.
Stop it! Welcoming you to your weekend for today.
I wrote that song out of disappointment.
Beyond 6 packs.
Bills, 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 bills.
Can you pay the bills? Keep paying my telephone bills. Please pay my automobile bills.
Welcome to Gallery.
Me and my parties.
London for what?
London for medicine.
Medicine for what?
Medicine for cough.
free.
Are you sickness?
You are illness.
Welcome to Gist Zone.
All right, my name is the Eselucien Wego One. Ona nyokoko nyonyo.
I hope we are all caught up on the juicy details in the world of entertainment. Thank you, Charles, for bringing us up to date. And moving on the show, we bring you a feature put together by Aisha Megarikanna, and it's titled Ram and Eid Celebrations. Enjoy.
Once you see rams installed like this or tied up like this, you automatically know what time of the year it is. Yes, it is Eid al-Adha, otherwise known as the Feast or Festival of Sacrifice, which is the second of the two Islamic holidays which Muslims world over celebrate each year.
Let's enjoy this happy day.
In the Islamic lunar calendar, Eid al-Adha falls on the 10th of Zulhijjah every year and lasts for 3 days. One is expected to slaughter a sacrificial animal of its finest kind within these 3 days and then divide it into 3 parts. One share is given to the poor and needy, another is kept for the home, and the third part is given to relatives. Now, the market value of these animals tend to differ each year. Let us find out if this year is any different.
As me, where I bring ram here, since getting to 1 week now, I never said now, only even day before yesterday, they just capture it on behalf of credits.
It's too hard to. I don't work all over the market. The price won't pass my power. I can't hold 30,000 naira that I want to buy ram for Sallah. As I come now, I work all over the market. Anywhere that I go, they will tell me that it's 200,000, 100,000. I don't know how I go price the. I don't know how I go start sale.
Although it is a feast of sacrifice, but not everyone can afford to buy sacrificial animal, especially as the prices tend to hike at this period. But the most important thing is to engage in Eid rituals slated for this celebration. Salatul Eid is a very important part of Eid celebration, which must be offered at the masjid or open Eid prayer grounds. Men, women and children are expected to dress in their finest or even sew new clothing to perform Eid prayer in a large congregation. One of the ways people celebrate Eid, especially in the northern part of Nigeria, is through horse riding, also known as Dara celebration, visitations to relatives and friends, and of course the distribution of meat amongst the people. Chanting the takbir throughout the 3 days of Eid is also considered an essential part of this important Islamic festival. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. There are many ways to prepare your portion of the meat, either by deep oil frying or shredding. Others have their own means of dealing with the meat. As for me, you can see I'm at my favorite swear point. So use what works for you. Here is wishing all our Muslim faithful Eid Mubarak.
Let's celebrate. Eid al-Sa'id. Let's enjoy this happy day. Eid Mubarak. Come on, let's celebrate.
Thank you, Aisha, for that beautiful feature, taking us through that long journey. And talking about this festive season will not be complete if we don't have someone on the set to tell us more about this festive season, this grand Eid. And we have with us an Islamic preacher. He is Sheikh Dr. Muhammad Usman Lere. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming on the show. So this is the grand Eid, and it's also known as the Feast of Sacrifice. Okay, so can you shed more light on the significance of this celebration for the benefit of everyone?
I'm very grateful to Almighty Allah for giving me the privilege to be in this program. So our viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Really, being a person, a Muslim, Islam is a complete way of life. If you are really a Muslim, you have nothing to do, nothing to alter, no movement have you until what Islam is recommended it for you. I am very doubtful if there is any single branch of science or civilization which is never fundamentally in the holy book of Allah, Quran. Therefore, a Muslim have a mandate to follow the teaching of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Definitely, in the day of Eid, Muslim is recommended, each and every Muslim is recommended to make a sacrifice if he has the means. But those that they don't have the means, so they have no any charge that will be made on them thereafter in the later world. Okay. So you will live under your capability, under your means. So it's recommended to just make a sacrifice. That sacrifice is not to just use it you alone, is to distribute it to the needy persons, to help the orphans, even the widows, and even the neighbors. So by doing this, you are actually just emulating the teaching of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Just you have to be just have the sympathy of those that they don't have money, or they don't have the capacity to even take care of their family, even their selves. So Islam is recommending those that in position to help the others, as I made mention earlier.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So we know the key word here is sacrifice. And apart from the sacrifice of animals, what else is expected of every Muslim faithful? What other thing can they sacrifice if they can't sacrifice animals?
Yes, it's not the only animals.
Okay.
So there is, there is 10 days.
Okay.
The first 10 days of this very month, that is the Zulhijjah, the last month of the year in Islamic calendar. So that 10 days, if you make something good on that days, so it's very, very, just the reward is double, just to do it in the other days that is not within these 10 days.
Okay.
In these 10 days, that in Islam, we are making Hajj, we are making this great, there is this great day, that is Sallah day, in which we are making sacrifice. Islam is, recommending Muslim to make fasting, to, just make charity, to just, if they are, even each, is not in even this month, is not in this month that you are recommended to give charity, but in this month is more important before Allah. Okay. Allah loves good deeds in these 10 days more than the other days. Okay. So therefore, it's recommended for each and every Muslim to, add more and more in good deeds. Yes.
Okay. I was even going to ask you, what are the key activities, that one cannot overlook during this period? But you have mentioned some of them. If, would you like to share more light on, some more of the key activities that one shouldn't overlook during this period?
Definitely, on the day of Sallah.
Okay.
a Muslim must, or is not must, it's recommended for him to go to the prayer ground to make that nafila, which is sunnah. When it is recommended for him, to wear a good clothes, put perfume, just going and making or reciting on takbir, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allah is great, Allah is the greatest, Allah is the greatest. Reciting all these things, and just to go to pray ground saying all these things until the Imam comes. After the Imam comes, then Imam will just lead people to perform the prayer. After the prayer, so he will not recommend it to make any sacrifice before the Imam until the Imam just did his own there, and then the people will be permitted to go back home and do their own. And it's recommended for each and every Muslim to just fast, This fast is not the complete day, so he will fast, I think, within some hours. When he comes back from the prayer ground, then he will break that fasting. And it's recommended for a person that has the ability to make sacrifice to take something from what he slaughtered for the sake of Allah to break his fasting with. There is many, I think.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
That is fantastic. Okay, so some of these observances and activities come with high moral standards or practices. How are Muslim faithfuls expected to translate this to their everyday lives?
Yeah, really. So by doing all these things, person will, you will have a sympathy of those that are not in your equal in living. Okay. So Islam is teaching people just to have a training of giving what you possess out to help the needy. So a Muslim can learn, in all these things that is recommended for him. He will learn to help his needy neighbor, widows, orphan. Because there is, one tradition of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, "Me and a person that look after an orphan will be in paradise like this." So indicating his index and the middle finger. So the difference is not much in the paradise. And there is one tradition of, I think narrated, Abu Huraira is saying that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam say, whoever look after a widow, that person will have the reward of a person that make a jihad, or a person that make a complete day, making praying and fasting for the whole day. So it is an important for Muslim to emulate or to do whatever is recommended within the day for him to understand, or for him to just take a lesson in each after this celebration of Sallah will, for him, just he will understand how he will continue doing all these good things, I think, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So basically, it's also a feast of giving.
Yeah.
Giving what you have to those who don't have.
Yes.
Just quickly before we go, because we're running out of time, it's an annual celebration, and let's just briefly talk about the positive impact of this celebration on national development in the country.
Yes, of course. Positive impact is, I think, is the unity. This celebration is teaching us how to unite ourselves, because we will come together by giving out something that you are in possession to someone. It will create a love. That love will create a unity and will create a good, kind of living together, and even peace and tranquility, within ourselves. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for coming on the show.
Much.
And I wish you a wonderful celebration during the Eid. celebrations.
Thank you very
All
much.
right, thank you. And your weekend continues after this feature, which is art exhibition in Abuja. Enjoy.
Call it revolutionary or maybe renaissance. What clearly comes to mind as one observes these works of art is great inspiration. Art has always had a strong footing in Nigeria, so maybe one could consider this whole experience somewhat of a rebirth. These artists are not just dedicated and young, but they are gradually bracing to stamp their signs and make a claim as forerunners of a more sophisticated contemporary Nigerian culture. With the theme Far, Far West of the Sudan, we see young creative minds showcasing their talents with modern and contemporary African arts, some for the first time to the world. You get a sense of going around the world in like 60 seconds, even when the occasion is an art exhibition in Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory. The curator, Ida, is of the opinion that these works might begin to deflect narratives about Africa being the center of poverty and throw up Africa's unique attribute as a hub of diverse and soon-to-be-tapped talents in abundance.
When people think about Africa or talk about Africa, it's usually about poverty and AIDS. So I saw some of this work and I was able to see all the creative minds I could find together, and I'm like, okay, I think all your works are beautiful. Let's do this and let it be about us as creatives and what we deal with.
Some artists whose works were on display gave life to their works.
This is Helios Anthos sunflower. When I was a kid, I used to see these things, all around, but you wouldn't find them anymore. They're going extinct. And the truth is, the more we move close to modernism, the less we lose the beauty of Africa.
This is just like a trip to Lagos when I went to Balogun Market. Because anytime I go to Lagos, I always have to go to Balogun Market. And it's just something that brings me a good feeling of shopping with my mom and thrift shopping, and just there's so much to see, so much to hear, so much to do over there.
Art enthusiasts believe talents like these ones, if given the attention they deserve, could go a long way in creating and boosting young creative minds in Africa.
It's really a time where, in the whole world, everyone is trying to create a deeper connection with their roots. So I think that's where art comes in. It establishes a creation to your roots and your past, and seeing it in artworks, and it kind of gives it a value that that you can place money on, I guess.
These are young talents. These are people that are trying to make impact, and to encourage more people that love them to go into arts, to get them busy, to catch them, to get involved in what is going on.
As a growing number of young Nigerians begin to view art as a viable career path, it is no wonder art is slowly infiltrating the mainstream culture, and the world is beginning to pay attention to these young talents in Nigeria and Africa at large.
Yeah, they say art is a beautiful thing. I'm sure you've seen beautiful works of art in your lifetime, and of course in that feature put together by Aisha Megari Kanna. So that brings us to our next guest, and he is an artist. He's a young young man, and he makes things look so effortless in his work of art. And we have with us Dauda Abusali. Abusali, I hope I pronounced your name correctly.
Yeah, correct.
All right, it's good to have you on the show.
Thank you, ma. Thank you very much, ma.
You're welcome. So, you're 17 years old.
Yes.
You love art. You love art.
Yes.
You can see it in your artwork. So, when did it start for you? Let's start with that.
Okay. I'll say art started for me at a very young age. I started drawing at the age of 8. I could draw cartoons and animations, but they are not real, they are not realistic. Then in 2015, we happened to live close to an artist. He studied art in school. So I would sit with him and watch him draw. So he gave me an introduction to art. So he taught me how to draw a realistic eye. Though I tried drawing then, they were never real. Until 2020, when I got access to social media, I logged in to see how the world of art was evolving. So I discovered this drawing by Charles Lavesor, a white artist. I was like, wow, can someone draw to this extent that you might confuse it for pictures? So I went into it. I started researching. I discovered that it was called hyperrealism. So I said to myself, this hyperrealism, I need to do it. This is what I want to do now. So I went online. I tried searching for online mentors that could show me, teach me how to do this, but I guess I never had one. So I was alone with me, practicing anything I could lay my hands on. I would just, even getting the reference photo then was really hard. So I would just be looking at my hand. I would just be drawing anything. I would ask anybody around, sit, let me just draw you, let me try and see what I could do. I started with graphite pencil. Then I noticed I really love drawing dark tones. So it was really hard for me going that dark with graphite. So that was how I started charcoal, because charcoals were really, so that was how I started.
Okay. You know, when you mentioned some of those graphites and charcoal, of course I know charcoal, but graphite, I've never heard of it. I'm not
That's
really...
a normal pencil.
Okay, so I'm not really into art,
pencil.
But I understand what you're saying. So basically, it was a journey for you, and you know, with time, you perfected the art, and you know, you're just doing amazing things.
Yes,
all right. So, well, I was going to ask you when you got interested in hyperrealism, but you know, you have already answered that question. But you know, as a young man growing up, and you know, you have been given, we have a lot of the other things that you could have been doing, but you know, you're very interested in art. Why art? Was there any defining moment apart from, you know, researching and meeting this Charles online and discovering the kind of thing that he does? Was there a defining moment for you, you know, to go into art? Was there anything that happened in your childhood that made you say, yes, art is it for me?
Okay. While growing up, my first ambition was to become a pilot.
Okay.
I wanted to become a pilot. Then I discovered I had this phobia for heights. I was like, how can you be a pilot and you're scared of heights? So that was how the dreams of becoming a pilot ended. So I discovered I had talent too in playing football. I wanted to become a footballer. Growing, I never had soccer boots to even play football. And that was like, it's not happening. So I switched until I met art. I decided this is what I want to do. I just want people to see my work and be like, how are you creating these things? Are these really real? That was just my motive in doing that.
Okay. So you're still in secondary school, right?
Still in secondary school.
And you've already told us the history of your hyperrealism interest. What has been the reaction of your friends, you know, family members, or people you meet along the way with the kind of art that you have chosen to specialize in?
I'll say when I started, though they were critics, people criticized my works, but then I didn't allow them to really influence me. I had my focus. I had what I was expecting, so I needed to practice. Even though they would say your works are not good, that I didn't look at it. Though till now there's room for correction. If I should post and someone say your works are not good, I can, where's the mistake? Let me correct. But around me, I've had a few people who encouraged me. They've really helped me grow. they will just tell me, keep it up, you are going somewhere, you are, and that has really been a motive for me.
Yeah, because I've seen some of your portraits. They're very lifelike, you know. I know you specialize more in, you know, people's portraits and all that. So is that your inspiration, you know, just wanting to draw people, or, you know, there's some other inspiration?
My inspiration has been from nature.
Okay.
I've just seen everything that God has created, and I just want to recreate. I want to transfer them into paper. I just want to put life in paper. Okay. So that has been my inspiration daily. I just want to recreate anything I can see. Okay,
so you're going to graduate from just doing people to some other kind of life, like maybe animals or birds, things like that. Okay, so do you plan to have an art exhibition anytime soon?
Yes. Okay. Yes. If I get enough resources, I will need the sponsorship, and sure, I will do.
Okay. So you brought some of your artworks. Do you want to show us what you have here? Yes.
This one. It's charcoal.
Ooh.
This is a charcoal.
That's really nice.
Yes. This is Ian Macklin. Okay.
The actor.
Yes, the actor. And I also have with me here Wale Soyinka.
Yeah.
And this.
That's nice. Really nice.
Yeah, I also have it here. Okay, this one.
Ooh.
I call this Let Them Breathe.
Okay.
Let them breathe. You can see the hand, the struggle, closing the nose. And
what inspired this one?
Okay, this was during that when they did George Floyd, the killing of George Floyd.
Okay.
That was what inspired me to doing this thing, where the Black Lives Matters.
All right.
So that was my inspiration in making this.
Really nice. All right. That's awesome. Really fantastic work.
Thank you.
All right. So just wishing you well in what you're doing, and keep it up, and you go places, and definitely when you decide to have your exhibition, don't forget to invite us.
Sure,
right.
man.
So thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, man.
I wish you all the best.
Thanks for having me, man.
So your weekend continues with Talking Movies, and Mariam Sule brings to us 6 Islamic themed movies. Enjoy.
Movies serve as an archive to the history of a people, and in Islam, the cinema helps to tell the story of the religion of over 1 billion people. Here are 6 Islamic movies to both entertain and educate you.
I just don't know what I'm doing here.
Coming in number 6 is Muslim. Muslim is a movie centered on a young African-American Muslim and his family whose lives are changed by the September 11 attacks and their aftermath. The movie stars Aaron Ross, Nia Long, and Danny Glover.
You have no idea what I've been through.
Who did this to you?
Tell me of your dream.
I flew to Mecca. As a bird forsakes its nest, I forsake my home and family, not knowing if we will ever see each other again.
And number 5 is Journey to Mecca. This is a documentary on the Islamic scholar Ibn Battuta. 21-year-old Ibn Battuta set out alone to Mecca for Hajj from Tangiers in 1325. The movie documents all the misfortune and adversity he faced during the course of the journey. The movie was released in 2009 and stars Shamsuddin Zinoon, Hassam Gansi, and Ben Kingsley.
Ibn Battuta's search for knowledge took him to more than 40 countries. His legacy is one of the greatest journals of travel ever recorded.
long time ago, devils raided my village.
And number 4 is Bilal, a new breed of hero. This animation movie was released in 2018 and recounts a story over 1,000 years ago, where a boy with dreams of being a great warrior and his sister are captured and taken to a faraway land. Growing up in a world of greed and injustice, he finds the courage to make a change. Starring in the movie is China and McLean, Adewale Agbaje, and Ian McShane.
Prepare yourself, Bilal.
They band together to overthrow us.
What's your name? Malcolm Little. No, that's the name of the slave masters who own your family. You don't even know who you are. Who are you?
And number 3 is Malcolm X. Actor Denzel Washington stars in this epic movie, which is a tribute to the late controversial black activist. He hit rock bottom during his imprisonment in the 50s and later became a black Muslim and then a leader in the Nation of Islam. His assassination in 1965 left a legacy of self-determination and racial pride. The movie was released in 1992.
You've been laying down and bowing down for 400 years. I think it's time to stand up.
All right, break it up. You got what you wanted.
No, I'm not satisfied.
When the city is threatened.
Jihad! We need a Muslim cop, one who looks like them.
In second place is American Sharia. After a prejudiced police officer upsets the Muslim community through racial profiling, the chief of police assigns 2 Muslim officers to regain the trust of the community. They are tasked with helping the chief get re-elected. The movie stars Omar Reagan, Adam Saleh, and Eric Roberts.
It's our job to protect this country from terrorists and suicide bombers.
Muhammad is a liar.
Liar? Where's the lie and where's the truth? When it hasn't been spoken yet.
Taking the number 1 spot is The Message. The Message is a 1976 historical epic drama recounting the life and times of the Islamic prophet Muhammad. This movie was set in the 17th century in Mecca, where powerful leaders are in conflict with Muhammad, who attacks the many injustices their way of life produces. The movie stars Anthony Quinn, Michael Ansara, and Irene Pappas.
These are the disciplines the prophet puts upon you. You may not harm a woman, a child, or any old person. Strike only at those who have expelled you, who have stolen your rights and enriched themselves with your possession.
That's it on the top Islamic movies to look out for. If you haven't seen any, I urge you to do so.
Ziwa loves me.
Love can be complicated.
To insist that Tiffany keeps the baby. You're having a baby, so act like it.
Love can make you do unimaginable things.
I feel safe with you, Dylan.
I'm here for you, Sheba. Honestly, I am.
You listen to those feelings, follow them, and let them lead you on. Everything is at stake when wealth is involved.
Nami doesn't treat me like that. It sucks how Dad treats you.
Revenge, schemes, plots, betrayal.
Why not do that? You're cheap and you don't know Don doesn't want you anymore.
Is there a price tag for love? Find out. Love and Wealth, a telenovela like never before.
You just want to hurt him really bad. Stop saying that! It's the truth!
On NTA Entertainment, Sundays 4:30 p.m, Wednesdays 10:30 p.m, and Fridays 8:30 p.m.
Hello and welcome. It's time for another interesting package of
Everything Music.
Angelina, you dey cool in my temperature. If you call, I go come deliver.
This is Stocky Movies.
In times of old, the world was full of wonder.
No!
Stop it! Welcoming you to your weekend for today.
Arise, O come patrol.
I wrote that song out of disappointment.
Beyond 6 packs.
Bills, 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 bills.
Can you pay the bills? Keep paying my telephone bills. Please pay my automobile bills.
Welcome to Gallery.
Me and my paddies.
London for what?
London for medicine.
Medicine for what?
Medicine for coffee.
Are you sickness?
To our illness. Welcome to Gist Zone.
All right, my name is the Eselusien Wego One. Ona nyokoko nyonyo.
Okay, you've heard Mariam Sule. She says if you haven't seen any of the movies, this is the time for you to take out time and watch some of them. You have The Messenger, Malcolm X. So if you haven't seen any, make sure you see. Because we are in the Eid season, this is Eid al-Kabir, and you know, it's a long holiday, so why not take out time and enjoy those movies? And that brings us to the end of this edition of Your Weekend. I hope you enjoyed watching. Join us next time for an even more exciting episode. I am Chinenye Ozo. Bye.
NTA, your one-stop entertainment channel.